sure that you're the one. I'm done, baby. That did it for me.
Alright, let's start with how long have you been playing and singing and writing?
Since I was about 8, so played music when I was a kid, learned how to play the piano. And then get a little older, the guitar was kind of cooler, but learning the piano at that age made everything easier to learn. Every other instrument that I could play was so much easier after playing the piano. So right around 12 or 13 I started playing the guitar a little more often, and then playing in some rock and roll bands and doing that. And then when I got about 17 I started playing in some country bands, and it was a little easier to play the guitar up on stage than it was, behind the piano. So I was playing guitar and singing in some country places, and very fortunate to get to do that at such a young age, and decided this was for me. So went to college for a little while, and then just couldn't get my head out of Nashville and playing music and writing songs, so I decided to move up here.
Cool, very cool. So, and I know you are a writer as well as a singer. What's your inspiration when you're writing?
I really like to write about something that I know about. Everybody likes to have an imagination about things, but it's so much easier to find some heartfelt stuff and things that you might have that experience with. It makes for a better song. It's a lot easier to write, because then you can just write real stuff, things that matter to you. And then I'm not a very super unique person, so hopefully the things that I've written other people have gone through and can kind of feel the same experiences with me. So a lot of real life stuff, I'd like to think. Things that I
So who have been some of your musical influences?
Well, when I was younger, playing the piano, you gotta love people like Elton John and Billy Joel. And, Jackson Brown was a huge singer-songwriter, piano player, guitar player that I loved, and I grew up listening to Journey and playing those songs on the piano. And so Jonathan Cain, I think, is an amazing songwriter, piano player from Journey. And the Eagles, Don Henley, Glenn Frey, those guys are just. It's sad that they all got to get together and be in one band. That much talent, but so big influences were them for sure. And then as you know, you get to move to Nashville, and in the late '90s, I love George Strait. I thought George Strait was great. I know he didn't write his own songs, but he had a way of capturing those songs and making you feel like you wrote them. And really like Keith Urban. One of the things I like about Keith Urban is because I like 80s music, he kind of feels like he's gone back there and grabbed some really cool, influences from that era and put them into his own kind of workings, which is really neat and something I like to do. So that's been a huge influence. I really like Keith's stuff. And then songwriters, there's some amazing songwriters in these towns. One thing you learn is you actually get to meet a lot more songwriters in Nashville than the artists. And there's some just incredible ones out there that I've had the privilege of working with. Written a mess of songs way back, I guess it seems now, with Dirk Bentley. He's a buddy of mine. And I haven't seen him in a while, but we've written some great songs together, and some other up-and-coming artists and so forth that I write with now and things like that. Songwriters are amazing to me. I think it's a really cool way to express yourself.
So, do you have any favorites that you've written? Any songs that stick out that you just really, really love?
Oh, well, yeah. There's some that you sit back and you go, where in the world did that come from? And you just think it's a gift because it just really is. Songs are hard to write sometimes and challenging. One of my favorite ones that I've written, I have a daughter, and I wrote a song called A Big Girl Now, which is really close to the heart for me. It was written from experience from start. The start of that song is no doubt in my mind that other people have been in that situation and will be in that situation about when your daughter's old enough to tell you they don't need you anymore. And I'm a big girl now, and I used to carry her up the stairs every night, put her to bed, tuck her in, and one night I picked her up to carry her up there, and she just basically looked me straight in the face and said, "No, you can put me down, I got this, I'm a big girl now." And off she went. And so, as songwriters do, we try to put emotions into music, and that was very, was very emotional for me. So I sat down and started writing that song, and then just tried to figure out other times in her life that she's gonna kind of put me in my place and let me know who she is and how independent she's gonna be, and that's where that song came from. So that's one of my favorites as far as the songwriting side of it and personal side. There's a handful of them on the record that I'm very proud of. I'll Follow You, I think, is a great song, great wedding song, great love song. The fact that it doesn't matter what you do or where you go. My favorite line in that song is, it doesn't matter where the sun comes up, it still goes down. And I think that's just kind of hit home when we, found that line. It was one of those things where it doesn't matter where you are, I'm going to follow you. And then, there's some up-tempo stuff on there that I really like. A Girl Like You is pretty much story of my life. Whether it was dating when I was younger to marriage or whatever, I've always had a girlfriend or a wife who was way beyond what I deserve or who I should be with, and that tells a great story about a guy that's he's just proud to be with her and he can show her off if he can.
What is your favorite part of what you do, of writing or singing, either one?
Favorite part of writing is when you first hear that song before anybody else has. Good or bad, because I've had some bad ones, or things that you think are amazing, but when you finally actually finish one and you play it all the way through and you don't even have to look at your lyric sheet, you've just written it, and you don't even have to remember your words. That took you a couple hours to a couple of days to sometimes a couple of weeks to actually lay them all out where they needed to be. But to be able to sit down for that first time and not even have to look at that lyric sheet and you know that song like you've known it your entire life, that's a really cool feeling. Playing live, the moment you walk out there and, when you're not a real familiar audience, when you walk out, you obviously get a welcome because you're up there, but when you actually get that welcome after they've heard you, when they actually say, okay, yeah, I'm glad he came to play some songs for us. That's a really cool part because at this stage in my career, I'm trying to win people over. I'm trying to get people to like my music, to like me. And when you can actually genuinely feel the response after you've played something, that's just a really cool feeling.
So what's the next goal for you with music?
To get out, get around the country some more, to meet people, to get your music out there as far as you can. The music industry is saturated with a lot of other artists and lots of genres and lots of competition, and I like to think that there's a place for me. So I'd love to get out a little bit more and meet people and let them see, kind of what I'm about, and take some time to play anywhere I can, talk to anybody I can, which I appreciate you coming to meet me today. So yeah, just get out and play more, meet more people.
So that's what's next. Do you have an ultimate goal with your music? Like, if you could get to that point, you'd be happy with what you've done?
Any musician wants to play in front of as many people as they can. It's not so much a success thing. If I could afford to just play music and survive, I'd be content. So it's not a financial thing with me. It's just the fact that I've done other jobs in my life and done other things, and to be able to play music, something that I love, and make a living, to take care of myself and the people that I care about, that would be huge. So any success that keeps me playing music would be huge. But of course, yeah, you want to play the big stadiums and have people sing your songs back to you on that kind of caliber would be incredible.
With a girl like you, I instantly become somebody.